What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and happy Thursday. I just dropped off all of my shipping for the day. We're gonna head inside. There's a couple of things I wanna show you. I wanna show you some of the items that I have sold recently. In fact, there's a pair of shoes. It's an easy $100 every single time you find them. And a couple of items that I have sourced recently that I'm just now getting around to listing. Part of the fun of reselling is when you discover something that you think nobody knows yet or nobody's found yet. And I think I've got a brand that's from super far away that the value is going to increase just with simple awareness. We're going to take a look at all of that and maybe talk about some things in between in this video, so stay tuned. First thing I want to show you is this Warm Rails brand towel warmer. I saw some people use Serpentine in their title, and I thought that was smart. You can see I have removed, the legs are removable, and so when I ship this, right, I'll just lay this down flat and then, you know, throw these in there somewhere. So you really just need like a lengthy box to put them in. But I sold this for, and I had it listed for $50. I sold it for $42. I think I paid $9 for it, somewhere around there. But this Warm Rails brand is definitely one you want to pay attention to. There are different styles. In fact, there's a wall mount one that's chrome that you can get somewhere between $50 and $70 for. There's one that just goes straight up and down. There's a few different styles of this brand, but you definitely want to pay attention to the Warm Rails brand. It looks like every time they sell, not every time they sell, but you can usually get, if you list it properly, take decent pictures, anywhere upwards of $35 and more for these, up to about $100 pre-owned. So it really depends on a few things. This is in really nice condition, and so I thought $50 was going to be appropriate. I did take the offer of 42 or 43. I don't remember. Heats up really quickly. Caution hot surface. But yeah, these are desirable. This brand is definitely a desirable brand. I can't speak this morning. Keep your eye out for it. Next item I sold was a pair of New Balance trail shoes. It's something that don't turn up that often. In fact, I paid $1 for these at a yard sale, if I remember correctly. They're a men's size 11. How's the tag? And they are a 4E, so they're extra wide. But New Balance makes a really solid trail shoe, and I don't normally think of that when I think of New Balance. So these sold for $20, which is really in line with the older style 410s, which is what these are. But they are in really nice condition. This buyer is going to be very happy when they receive them. Lots of tread left, and I paid so little for them. $20 is probably a pretty good price. If it was an updated style of the 410, I could have pushed this into the $25 to $35 range, but I'll take the 20. Shipping these ground is only going to cost, like maybe $8, $9, something like that, if I remember. But yeah, 410, it definitely one of the styles of New Balance you want to look for. They make so many, and I know the 327 is really popular right now, but New Balance trail shoes is kind of like like a hidden gem. It's not going to make you a ton of money, but it's definitely something to put on your radar if you weren't aware of it. I'm pretty happy with these condition-wise, and I know the buyer will be as well. All right, I wanted to bring these outside because the sun is behind me, and so it just like shines off this beautiful leather. So this is a pair of Allen Edmonds Randolph penny loafers. Now, if you are doing your research on eBay, you'll notice that the Allen Edmonds Randolph style, there's a few variations of it. So there's the penny loafer. You'll see some that have tassels here. You'll see a horse bit. This penny loafer, though, look at the condition. I mean, both sides in really nice shape. And this is a very expensive brand style of Allen Edmonds. MSRP, I feel like most of them are. Allen Edmonds is a pretty expensive brand to start. So the soles are in great shape, front and back. I photographed them, I think, like at around this time of day so that the sun kind of glistens off of the leather. Might have been a little bit later in the day, but I wanted to make sure that it hit it. You can see there's like a little bit of wear here. These still sold for $100. It's a great pair. So they are a men's 9.5 E, which I believe is wide, and the price that I listed them for was in line with the sold before mine, which was a couple weeks before. Exact size and exact width. that sold for $125 free shipping. So I sold mine for $100, and the shipping is going to be what, $10 to $15. So very close to the other one, but these are in great shape. And you know, you feel like most Allen Edmonds starts out expensive, but there are plenty that like only sell in the $15 to $20 range. I mean, I feel like that happens to every brand. These ones have really staying value, this Randolph style. And when I was looking at the solds, this covers not just the penny loafer, but the tassel style, but the horse bit. It just seems like the Randolph is a much more expensive sort of executive price point, and the price holds up in resale. So if you find these, do not be afraid to price them high. In fact, I have a burgundy pair that I have listed that are in just slightly worse condition, probably the same buyer, same size, that I have listed for $80. Okay, and the next one I sold, Smartwool. If you're not familiar, this is a great brand for resale right now. This is a Merino Sport 150, just great t-shirt, men's t-shirt XL. I sold 2 of these recently. The first one I sold for $30. This one sold for $25. I feel like their resale prices are excellent right now. This is just a basic t-shirt. I tried it on. It feels nice. There's nothing remotely different, I think, about it, but it's just a very good brand for resale right now. If you find a quarter zip or a half zip, it looks like in most cases, those are selling for around $40. Again, these t-shirts, they make a Henley style like this that looks like it sells in the $25 to $30 range. So if you weren't familiar, put it on your radar. Smartwool, great brand. There are only, there's the back with their little, I'm not sure what this little logo guy is, but they, there are only 15,000 active listings, but it looks like, and if this is just using the term Smartwool, but if you sort by solds, around 8,500 sales. That's a pretty good ratio, even though I always say it's not an exact ratio of like list to sold, but it just proves the fact that this is an in-demand brand that sells well, and it looks like the values are holding pretty strong in the sort of bread and butter price range. So definitely look for Smartwool if you weren't aware that it was a Bolo brand. All right, we're in the basement. Not every item that I sell is a high dollar item. In fact, I don't know that I would pick these up again. They're really cute though. I think it's Joanna Parker. Hold on, let's take a look at these. It's like very Halloween-y. And I've had them for 2 years, so they need to go. I think these were sold at, I want to say they were probably sold at like Marshall's. These salt and pepper shakers. Joanna Parker. She's got much more expensive items out in the wild than these salt and pepper shakers. These are super cute, and you know what? I probably paid $5 for them. I had them listed for $20. It wasn't really that high, but this is going on 2 years. I have to get these moved. So I took an offer of $14. I mean, could I have waited? Sure. Does it make sense? Probably not. So if I paid $5, I sold them for $14. You know, you do the math. It's not the best pickup, but it's still super fun, super festive. This is going to make somebody really happy. But you definitely want to keep your eye out for Joanna Parker related items, because like I said, there's a lot of them out in the wild that are very, very valuable. And if you find some at a garage sale or an estate sale or something like that, probably get pretty lucky. Cute stuff though, right? Okay, another pickup recently, Patagonia. So you guys heard me a couple of videos ago talking about the better sweaters and the value going down with a few of them. The Retool that I just listed, I think I listed for $30. This is an instance where this is going to get more. The demand is higher for this. So this is a Capilene Cool Daily, very thin base layer men's hoodie in a size 2XL. It's like a blue or heather blue, something along those lines. I had this listed for $40 and I expect it to sell pretty quick. So here's one where, you know, Patagonia, you can move this pretty quick. I think this was $5, $4.99, something like that. It's showing up like kind of looks gray on my phone for whatever reason, but this is definitely blue. But this, if you're sourcing Patagonia and you've got to make a decision between the two, this is the one that's probably going to sell the quickest. I love the fact that I have a 2XL. There's probably a lot less of those out in the wild or on eBay than some of the other more regular sizes like large or medium. But 2XL, good size. It's in pristine condition. Let me give you the model number on this, just so we can be accurate, because I think that does matter. I think it's 45310, style 45310. This was from spring of 2023. Definitely a quick mover. So certainly one in the Patagonia brand that you definitely do want to grab. $5 is a great price. $40, I'll take it. All right, I want to show you this. This is a down under pot. It's like an upside down pot, right? See the hole in the bottom? The lady that makes these is in Australia. Her studio, her pottery studio, is in Tasmania. And I'm not even sure these are being produced anymore. They seem very limited edition. We're here in the US, so maybe it's harder to find, but I think just awareness alone will bring more of these to the marketplace. So hopefully when you're out looking, take a look. It says down under pots right in the middle and then around the circle on the bottom. I have this one in like the terracotta style color for $45, but I expect the value of these to increase just with, you know, awareness alone. So definitely look for these. I'm not sure if you can get them in the US. I'm sure she probably has some reps or some brands that sell these here in the US, but you can get two. I saw one that was, I think it was marbled, that was selling in the $150 range. There was one that was black that was brand new that sold for $200. These are interesting and again, a very small batch Australian designer producing these, but there's got to be more out there for you to find. So I wanted to show you guys this because I expect the value of these to go up with the more people that bring them to the marketplace. I think right now there's only maybe 20 or 30 of these online, and then 15 or 20 have sold in the last 90 days. So like they're pretty good sellers. I don't know if seasonality is going to have an effect on it or not, but this is like a nice little hidden gem right here. So I wanted to share this one with you too. All right, I recently picked up this Varley. It is a small. This is called a Lowry. We're gonna go into my computer in a second because we're gonna learn together. Varley is a decent brand for resale, but the numbers indicate that I think that's going to probably sell a little bit slower. I have this listed, I mean, it is in excellent condition for $60, but I want to show you at my computer what I'm talking about when I say I think no matter what season we're in, this is just going to be a slow seller. Even though it's $60, you'll see here in a second, this is a really good value because this is in like new condition. All right, we're on Varley's website. I'm just going to search Lowry. Let's see what this retailed for. So we have two, well, okay, it's the same, it looks like the same thing. So here's the Lowry sweater. Retails for $160. We have all the sizes in stock. I mean, this looks really nice. I have to imagine that Varley promotes himself as, you know, a brand you can buy year round. I see hats and caps, sports bras, tops, tanks. Okay, looks good to me. Looks like they cover year round stuff. It's not just a fall dominant brand. But if you go into eBay, I see 6,200 results for the brand, so that's pretty low. And then let's sort by sold, just using the brand name as a keyword. 1,300. So I mean, just based on that, I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a slow mover. What's the difference between where are we at here? Not that. Let's go new and used. So okay, pre-owned, almost 900, 3, 4, 5. So like 500 new, 900 pre-owned. That comes to about 1,400, so that's about right. Sometimes those numbers will be a little bit different than the number that you see up here. But yeah, no, it just looks like it's a brand that is probably going to sell a little bit slower. I mean, I have mine priced at $60, so we'll just have to hurry up and wait, I suppose. But a very good brand, and the piece is very well made. A viewer recently in the comment section asked if I would touch on the business side of reselling and the taxes side. So yes and no. The business stuff, the analytics, all of those things can be taught. I can teach that, that's no problem. I've done mentorships when I used to sell on Amazon, and I'm considering doing it on eBay as well. But with respect to taxes specifically, the analogy that comes to mind when I think of this is when a realtor is selling homes and their clients have questions regarding mortgages. Those questions should always be deferred to a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker. The realtor is not the professional. So, and I think it's probably illegal to do so anyways. So in this instance, when it comes to taxes, I always defer those questions to either the bookkeepers or the CPA. And I certainly suggest, if you want to do this at a high enough volume, that you use both. Have a bookkeeper do your books on a monthly basis, have them turn that over to a CPA that preferably has e-commerce experience. It's not the end of the world if you have a CPA that's, you know, been in the business for a long time but doesn't really handle the internet side of things. I would rather you use somebody that is e-commerce focused, that knows how to get you the most deductions, all of those things. Have the two of them work together, get those things done. I stay completely out of the tax situations. I have them explain everything that's going on to me. They ask me questions, I give them the data, and that's it. So with respect to taxes, you're never going to hear me discuss it on the channel, and it wouldn't be done so in a mentorship situation as well. But as far as the business side, the number side, margins, cost of goods, you know, all of those things, the analytics involved, I can cover all of that, and I might just do that for a select few people that want to really dig deep into the reselling business, get into it probably farther than you already are. But we're going to leave taxes alone on this channel moving forward. So just wanted to make sure that I address that. All right, that's all I have for you today, but coming to a video near you very soon, we're going to talk about toys. We are bringing back an old favorite of mine from long ago. Stay tuned for that. If you like that type of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But I have to run both of my kids to a school function today, so that is it for business. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you in the next video.